Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of Family or Fiance Season 3, Episode 9, LaKeisha and JaQuan. Child, this is a mess. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. In this episode, we're being introduced to JaQuan and Lekeshia. They met on a dating app, and she said, he couldn't even afford popcorn when they went on the date, but, she was content with that, honey, and somehow he got a ring. Child, I don't know if they robbed a bank or what happened, child, but apparently he got a ring. So she said, she gave him a second chance because he was very polite. Oh, well, that's a nice compliment. She says she's never actually been with a man with both parents. You know what? That is so sad. I really look for the day that two parents are more of the rule instead of the exception, because it's like when you're in a relationship with someone who grew up in a two-parent home versus you growing up in a broken home, or even let me just say this, okay? Quiet as it's kept. Sometimes you're more well-rounded and more loved and more communicative coming from a single parent home, not having to see turmoil or strife, if that was the situation. But the fact that she said she's never been with a man that's actually had two parents, I thought that was really sad. His parents think she's crazy and not right for him. But y'all, we're going to get into that as we get into it. So they get there, and y'all know how they do. They get greeted by Tracy. They take a look around, and then they sit down with her, right? He's 25, she's 26. Y'all are too young. This is just my opinion. I feel like you need to live in your 20s, explore, find out what you like, honey. Get in there and get into it as you get into it. I mean, just live your life. Because let me tell you something, I made the mistake of getting married in my early 20s, and I didn't get to enjoy myself. And I'm not saying that's for everyone. Some people like to get married, at an earlier age. But I just feel like at 25 and 26, and especially with these two, honey, immaturity ran all up and through this episode. I felt like I was watching an episode of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But y'all, we're going to continue on, moving forward. So he's telling Tracy, it wasn't the average proposal. She asked him to propose. They went together to get the ring, and then he popped the question. Oh, no, baby, what is you doing? Like, sweetheart, okay? Because, child, we all know what type of parental guidance you were given. So let me just say this to you, sweetheart. If you have to coerce, convince, barter, beg, steal to get a ring, that means the man is not ready to be married, honey. She's taking advantage of his kindness. That's what I believe. She knows he's a little bit on the impressionable side. So whatever she tells him to do, basically, he's going to do it. She says she kind of feels bad for pressuring him, but, he wants a family and she wants to be married before she has another baby. So then Tracy goes, you have two children by two different fathers. Now, I don't know why that was important to bring up. All you had to say is, so you have two children? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, honey. Is it just me? I didn't like that. I was like, why do you have to let us know that she has two different babies' fathers or children's fathers? Like, why did you have to let us know that? What does that have to do with what's going on right now? Like, child. But anyway, she was like, yeah, we have a custody agreement and they're back in Arizona and she's in Chicago. Okay. She's like, yeah, I kind of feel bad for it. I feel like I left my kids. Honey, you did leave your kids. You did. And you sure feel bad for a lot, honey, every time somebody says something. And I feel bad for it. And I feel bad for it. Girl, get yourself together. You are not very good at making decisions. I'm starting to see a pattern in the first 10 minutes. Let me tell y'all something. There ain't no way I could leave my kids and go to another state to be with a man. I barely want to leave my child sometime with my mama to go to brunch. Okay? And I know my mama going to take good care of my child, but it's just something in me that I'm not able to just up and go. I feel guilty even going on vacation sometime. Tracy was like, so you went to Chicago to be in this relationship? She's like, yeah. Oh, no, ma'am, honey. No, ma'am. She said the reason why I left is because I wanted to make sure that it was a good enough environment for them. Well, honey, it was good enough for you and for you to get engaged there and for you to stay there an entire year. Girl, go retrieve your children. Now, if the two of the children are stable, honey, don't uproot them. But you're traveling across country to follow this man. Girl, that makes absolutely no sense. So then he tells the story about him being kicked out of the house in Arizona and he didn't have anywhere to go and he didn't know anyone. So he went online and met another girl and went over there. They had sex and she called him a month later saying she was pregnant. So not only did you run over there and sleep with someone else, you slept with her unprotected. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up. And you saying you want a family, honey, it looks like you already got one. He's like, I still don't know if the baby is mine. Honey, these two are not fully matured yet, and y'all are on the wrong show. She's leaving her kids. He has a baby out there that needs a DNA test. Instead of being on Family and Fiance, y'all need to be on Maury. Child, this is a mess. So Dr. Tracy asks, who's going to be coming for him? For him, it's going to be his mom, his dad, and his brother. He said when they first met her, they actually liked her, but then after a while, they didn't. Because y'all fight like cats and dogs, and she keeps putting you out, and you keep going back, and it's a mess. So for her, it's her mom, her sister, and her dad. And let me just say this. Her mom is a special character. Honey, and I'm going to leave it like that as we get into it. Her mom doesn't really have a great relationship with her. And she said that her and her mom, they fight, they cuss each other out. The mom pits the sisters against each other. Her and her dad are actually close. He lives in Texas. And she just finds it strange that her and her dad are so close, but her mom is right there and they don't have a relationship. So Tracy gives them their task. JaQuan's task is to tell her family what his 5-year plan is. LaKeisha's task is to do fears in a hat. His family will put the fears in a hat and she will address them and reassure them that she's stable. Child, well, that didn't work. Moving forward. So her family arrives first, right? And I noticed she embraced everyone but her mom. Child, her mom can't even muster up anything to say nice about the daughter. So they're in a little confessional. And the sister was like, we have our ups and downs, the normal sister relationship. And she's like, and you, mom? Her mom gonna say, she's very private and likes to keep things to herself. Girl, that is terrible. That is downright pathetic. In my opinion, I feel like the mom is jealous of her own daughter. Honey, this is a mess. So then his family arrives. Very well put together family. His mom seems a little judgy. Okay, when she walked through the door, I saw her nose turn up. And then they go into the common area to have the family meeting to voice their concerns. Her mom is concerned about JaQuan's relationship with the kids. Honey, you need to be concerned about your relationship with your own kid and her relationship with her kids. Honey, y'all got the problem with the relationship with the kids. Y'all trying to put this man with her children when she ain't even with her children. Her sister said, I just feel like you need to work on yourself and rebuild your confidence. So her dad's concern is JaQuan gaining stability as a man and being head of the household. His dad said it's way too early and she put him out like 5 times. See, that's that childish behavior that proves they are not ready for this type of commitment. So his brother said communication and he feels like his brother needs to be more vocal. But what I heard was speak your speech because she is calling all the shots. That's what I heard. His mom's concern is that, her son is not following the plan that he set for himself. Is he not following the plan that he set for himself, or is he not following the plan that you set for him? Because I don't know, mama, now. I don't know. Also, she says she wants LaKeisha to be able to control her anger because she knows that she can't control it. And also, she needs to focus on her children. She doesn't know if she could have just gotten up and left her kids to be with the man. And honey, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, listen, sweetheart, you cannot just get up and run across country. Your children are going to remember that. They're going to remember mommy left me for a period of time. It's no way to undo it. It's no way to explain it because they're going to feel some type of abandonment. And to think that you did not get up and go to better your life, got up to go be with this man. She said, I just really feel like her comments made me feel like a bad parent. So then they tell the families the task and then they break up into groups. So her first question is, what's the rush to get married? So she answered, I don't want him to leave. Oh my God. Oh man. She has abandonment issues. She really needs her mother's guidance because, sweetheart, trust me, marriage doesn't guarantee he will stay. A person that doesn't want to be there will always find a way to leave. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're Siamese twins. Honey, if they want to go, they gonna go. So his dad said, so you think he's going to stay because y'all get married? She said, well, he told me he's not getting divorced and we just gonna have to work through it. They can say that and still leave you. Okay, just so we're clear. Honey, mine literally left 2 days after we celebrated our 1-year anniversary. Not projecting my stuff onto you, but I'm just giving you an example of what could potentially happen. Okay, people's mouths will say anything, but marriage is hard work. And when you're in the thick of it, sometimes the only option that people see is to run. So, you just really have to be careful, but I don't want you to think that staying with him and marrying him is going to get him to stay. So his mom was like, marriage is hard work, honey, and is. His parents have been together since they were 16. Well, he had a good example of what it means to push through. So I think he will try to stick it out when the going gets tough. But at this stage in their lives, now is just not the time. It's just really not. Over on the other side, his question is, how does he plan to provide for a family? He said, have a stable career. He has a good job that he's starting soon. He went to school for law enforcement, so he's going to apply for that. And that's what he really wants to do. He wants to be a cop. So they asked her, how can she leave her kids? That was her question when she got back over there with his family. She said, it was hard for me to hear what you said, speaking to the mom. She's like, I got mad because I felt like you needed to mind your own business. Oh, child, I was not expecting that. When I said... I was not expecting her to say that to his mom. But then again, her mom and her have this very tumultuous relationship where they speak out the side of their necks to each other. So she has no respect. Like, you cannot speak to this man's mom this way. So his dad said, well, it's a major concern. Honey, we are all concerned. How could you just uproot yourself and move and leave your children to go with this man? He said, it's painting a picture. Yes, a picture that she will neglect all responsibilities if you dangle something shiny in front of her. Like, that's not going to work. In motherhood, you can't just get up and pack up and leave. Honey, it's not just you. So they asked how she felt if the baby turns out to be his. She said, I'm going to be angry because we were together. His dad is like, one of the reasons he went over the girl's house is because of you. Now, Dad, honey, just because they had an argument or whatever and he left, she didn't make him have unprotected sex with the woman. Or did she do that as well? Now, this daddy was getting on my nerves, honey. I know you want to, have your child's back or whatever, but wrong is wrong. One thing I'm never going to do for my son is I am always going to sit on the side of right. If he is wrong, I'm going to call him on being wrong, because then we develop these little humans that go around thinking that whatever they do is fine, because why are we going to co-sign their bullshit? Okay, and I refuse to raise a son that comes to me with 4 and 5 different women and I'm smiling with all of them. Honey, it ain't going to happen. Child, that is not going to work over him. So his brother said he did what he had to do to survive. What? Sleep with a woman and have a place to lay down, honey? How about you get your own place, honey? How about you move back home? Is he going to find an internet friend every time they fight in their marriage? Like, what are the two of you saying? Child, mama, you better watch out, honey. You better not ever put your husband out, because you already know what time it is. He going to find somebody on the internets. Baby, he going to be over on Beyonce's internet, and it's going to be fine for him, because the logic that he's created is that if you put me out, then it's okay for me to wander over yonder. Child, this is a fool. Moving forward, her dad asked him, what has caused her to want to kick you out? He said, I was texting other women. Her dad said, well, that's on you then, right? So I'm guessing his parents only got his side of the story. So her dad said, do your parents know you cheated on her? He's like, I don't think so. Honey, you know they don't. He's still not done playing yet. This girl has kids, and you cannot do all of this in a marriage. It might be best for the children to stay with the dads if this is the case, honey, because the two of you, oh my gosh. Back over here with LaKeisha, his dad is like, you put him out once to teach him a lesson, but you can't keep doing it over and over and over. That's a pattern. She's like, he has a pattern of being a cheater. They were all like, no, not JaQuan, not my brother. That's shocking. She's like, yes, he cheated on me 6 times. Well, honey, I guess they know now. They thinking they raised Theo Huxtable and really raised Future. Okay. Child, y'all are not the Cosbys. I'm just saying, child. She's like, yeah, he's very sneaky. So his brother said, so do you think the cheating gonna stop because of the ring? Honey, can't stop, won't stop. Shout out to Rockefeller Records. Child, it's a fool. It will probably get worse. Because let me tell you something. If he feels like he's stuck and he feels overwhelmed, I know for a fact that he probably will run for cover in the arms of somebody else. Honey, I'm happy his brother got some sense, because I don't know why she thinks everything is going to magically be okay just because they get married. She is just looking for love in anyone, in anybody that comes along. In the next scene, they go in and sit down for dinner, right? So his mom gets right to it. She's like, yeah, we learned a lot about you today, looking at JaQuan. Learned that you were a cheater. LaKeisha is like, yeah, the same day you met a woman online and you slept with her. He said, you said it was over. So here go his brother. She gave him a place to stay. His dad gonna say, he had nowhere to go. His stuff was in the garbage can. Okay, well, he shouldn't be cheating. And just because he had nowhere to go doesn't give you free range to just cheat, honey. What are you talking about? And if he was just going to run back over there where she was, then he should have kept his little peen in his pocket. So her dad said, so are you saying it's her fault? Well, Dad, it's sounding like. It's sounding like they're saying it's her fault. His dad said, I'm not saying he's right. She said, well, if the baby is his, I'm putting this marriage on the back burner. Honey, you need to put this whole relationship on the back burner. There should be nothing that the two of you need to discuss. So they're in the kitchen after dinner, and she all of a sudden says, we've been trying to start a family. Well, I missed my period, and I don't know if I might be pregnant. Oh, they operate so childishly. Lady, if you know you may be pregnant, then you need to take a test. So let me get this straight. Let me just get this straight. You have 2 kids that you left back home to follow this man, to make him propose to you with a ring that the two of you picked out together. He went and got someone pregnant, and he doesn't know if he is or isn't the father. And now you may be pregnant, but you're just going to ignore it until a baby drops out of your vagina. Oh my God, honey, this is a fool. This is a mess. She's like, I'm really scared. I'm scared to see a positive test result. I don't want to think about it. Well, honey, you need to be thinking about it. If you are pregnant, that's 3 kids plus his possible. Y'all don't even have steady word. Moving forward. It is now day 2. So it's breakfast time, and her ridiculous mom is comparing her 2 daughters. When LaKeisha comes down, she's like, here is my oldest daughter with JaQuan. And so then she's like, ew, you need to fix your shirt. Picking her apart as soon as she comes down. What kind of shirt do you have on? Do you see how her hair is sticking out in the back? Child, ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? First of all, there's nothing wrong with her hair. You got this synthetic wig plopped on your head, cocked to the side, and you're trying to berate your daughter? Girl, goodbye. So then her youngest daughter comes down, and she's like, there's my beautiful youngest daughter with her Tina Turner legs. Child, please, she couldn't rival Tina Turner, but she is a beautiful lady. But that is an awful thing to do as a mom. Her mom is the definition of everybody doesn't need to have children. That mom of hers is truly toxic. She definitely did not get an example of how to be a mom from her own. So her mom starts picking her apart from the hair to the clothing. And LaKeisha is like, she's lowering my self-esteem. And for what? Because you are a reflection of what she hopes she could have been. Honey, she's a miserable old woman, and she's trying to bring you down with her. I really feel bad for her in this moment, because it has to be very disheartening to sit here and hear the person who birthed you, that's supposed to be your biggest ally here on earth, break you down. From the hair all the way down to the clothing. The mom resents LaKeisha, and she wants to be the slimmer daughter. That's why she's always saying, oh my God, the beautiful daughter, and oh, her Tina Turner legs. Ma'am, okay, your heyday is over, and you really need to cut it out. And the way that you treat your children is pathetic. It really is, honey. And I know y'all be all up and through the comments and watching these reviews and everything, and I'm here to tell you right now, ma'am, I'm speaking directly to you. The way that you are treating your daughter is unacceptable. So they go to meet with Tracy again, and she tells Tracy, she doesn't think that they're going to get the blessing from any of the parents. Honey, y'all don't need no blessing. This is a mess. He tells Tracy that LaKeisha may not want to get married if he has an outside child. So you don't want to have an outside child, but you're still having unprotected sex with him where you could potentially get pregnant? Girl, make it make sense, honey. So Tracy said, it's about responsibility. What is my responsibility to this relationship? She's like, when you tell him to get out, then, he's out. She's like, well, I did the same thing a whole bunch of different times, and he didn't go out and get somebody else. He's like, because the other times I had somewhere to go. Well, what happened to the other people that you went to last time? He's like, they didn't want me to come back over there because of all that. They didn't want me to keep coming back over there every time something happened between us. But it got to a point where, I was being kicked out so much that I just turned to the next person. You did that because you wanted to do that, sir. Okay? If you wanted to find a way to make it, you would have found a way to make it. You did that because you wanted to. Tracy said, LaKeisha, I feel like you're treating him like your mom treats you. So then she starts to get emotional, and she's like, he has a unit and my family's all messed up. Just why can't I be normal? Then she starts to get really emotional, and he starts to get really emotional as well. And I was like, okay. Broken homes and toxic parents, honey, they can really mess you up. I feel really bad for her in this moment. Tracy suggests that she talk to her mom, and she wants JaQuan to be there as well for emotional support. She knows it's going to be scary, so what she suggests is that she gives some sentences about how she feels so that the mom doesn't feel victimized, honey, but we will soon see that didn't work out that way. And their new task is to talk to the moms. So let's see how this gonna go. Moving forward. Tracy brings up the possible pregnancy and she was like, do you want to have a baby? She's like, I was a teen mom and I'm still kind of finding myself. Sir, you need to wear condoms. And ma'am, honey, you need to protect yourself. If a child is not in the plan right now, you need to be on some type of birth control. Honey, this poor baby. Oh, child, she needs some guidance. So they go to take the test and it's negative. And both of them are breathing a sigh of relief. And he's like, if you don't want to have a baby right now, we don't have to. She's like, I just feel like we need to fix us. Okay. In the next scene, they go to meet with her mom. And she said, oh, I feel like a child. I feel like somebody that's about to get in trouble. So then the mom shows up. She's like, how y'all doing? Girl, sit down. So anyway, she shows up. And so she starts to tell her mom that growing up, she felt alone. And she felt like no one was there for her. Here goes the mom. You just wanted to be in your room reading a book. Oh, God forbid she gets knowledge. God forbid she sits down and actually reads a book. Like, what is the real issue here? Take a look. It's in a book. A reading rainbow. Shout out to LeVar Burton. Girl, goodbye. How you mad at her because she was in her room reading a book? This old tacky mama child. This tacky pleather jacket, that tacky wig. Honey, all of it's tacky. Just a fool. So her mom said, you never talked to me. She said, I tried and I felt rejected. You always put my sister up and you put me down. So then she gave the example of how earlier this morning, she was saying that her sister was so pretty and she basically looked ugly. She said, what was wrong with what I had on? I think her mom favors the other daughter because she's thin. I said it. That's what I really feel. It's a classic case. As sad as it is to see, I have seen it countless times in my family, through my cousins, through my aunts. She favors the daughter because she's slim. And that's exactly how I feel. So her mom said, well, why can't you look your best? Well, what if that is her best? And why can't you look your best? So she told her, I feel like you always put me down. Her mom was not taking any accountability at all. She was deflecting and denying that any of it happened, right? So she starts talking about her daughter could have helped her. And I was taking care of 3 kids by myself. You could have helped me. Ma'am, it is not her responsibility to parent you. You are the parent. It is not her responsibility to come to you and try to help you because you had 3 kids and no father. So she's like, your sister is just more outgoing. Honey, everything you wished you were. So you're living vicariously through the younger daughter. So then her mom hits on her parents and she's like, LaKeisha, you left your daughter to go be with JaQuan. She's like, no, you wanted to keep her. You said you were sick and you needed some help. Lady, you sure need a lot of help. What you do need is psychological help. I can tell you that, honey, but I don't know about help around the house. So her mom is like, no, you left your kids. So then the mom gets up and walks away saying, you don't want to fix things or have a relationship with me. You brought me on this camera to cuss me out. Ma'am, she said not one cuss word. Okay, just so we're clear. It was on camera. Child. Why didn't Tracy have a therapist for them? I feel like this was definitely one of the episodes where she should have had a third party. Because her mom is childish. She lacks emotional maturity. This is not a person you sit down with one-on-one. She's looking for love in anybody because the one person that's supposed to love you unconditionally says she wants nothing to do with you. So she's yelling, get away from me. Get away from me. So his mom is sitting within earshot, right? And she's crying because she cannot believe what Keisha is facing. Because as a mom, it hurts you to know that you love your children unconditionally. You love them with your whole heart. And to hear somebody else just basically throwing their child by the wayside, if you're any kind of a mom worth a hill of beans, that's going to affect you. So outside, his mom is telling her that she'll be there for her because she had no idea of the type of dynamics she was facing. Now, the only thing that would have been greater in this instance was if the mom would have embraced her. Because in that moment, I feel like she just needed a hug. In the little confessional, right? Her sister is sitting there telling her mom how hurt she felt growing up and how she feels like LaKeisha feels like she's alone and her sister is crying, right? She's like, I just feel like Keisha feels broken. Then all of a sudden her mama crying. Why you crying now? Because your favorite is saying it? So you didn't receive it when it was coming from LaKeisha herself. When she was telling you her exact feelings, you didn't feel anything. But the minute your golden child starts telling you how LaKeisha may have felt, all of a sudden you get emotional? Lady, get lost. Her mom is no good to her until she heals herself, child. So I wouldn't even waste my breath. Child, that mama 15 in the brain. Moving forward. It's the final session. They go in to tell Tracy about the meeting she had with her mom. She said, it hurt her because it was just simple. She really could have just embraced what she was saying and had a conversation, but instead she deflected. All she had to do was just listen to her. She said, and I'm also starting to understand that may be the way that I dealt with JaQuan. So then JaQuan told Tracy that even his mom got emotional about the whole thing between LaKeisha and her mom. There is no way I could ever treat my child that way. So LaKeisha tells Tracy, all I wanted was just to be close to his mom. It's time for the blessing ceremony. Child, nobody better not bless this mess. So his mom said, when I first arrived, I knew that they needed to work on themselves, but I'm going to have to go with the no because they need time to grow. And let me tell you something. I am so happy his mom kept it real and didn't say yes because of these cameras, because the two of them do not need to be getting married. So his dad was like, no as well. They need more time. His brother said, for the blessing, I'm going to have to give a nice solid no. Baby, that brother is something else. I don't know why that tickled me so, but it was the way he said a nice solid no, like as if he was going to say something else, child. So her sister Vanessa actually said yes. I'm not sure exactly why. I don't know if she just wanted to make her sister feel better, make her feel like, girl, I support you. No, sis, honey, no. We don't want this. We don't want this for them right now. But she said yes because of the way JaQuan actually supported her when her mama was acting a stone cold nut. Her dad said yes as well. Dad, were you present? Okay, honey? And honey, you might need to say something to that ex and let her know that it's not right the way that she's treating your daughter. Honey, it's time to pipe up. So now it's time for her mom. Child, let me tell y'all something. When her mom got ready to speak, I was rolling my eyes into the back of my head. Okay? I don't even think I looked at the screen for a good 2 or 3 minutes. So her mom was like, yeah, I give you a no. Her mom is petty and disgusting. Okay? Just so we're clear. Moving forward. The two of them make an announcement and they decided that they're going to wait. His mom said, I'm so happy y'all decided to wait. Baby, mama's whole face lit up. Do y'all hear me? Because she needs to know that her son is not marrying into the mess, honey. And the way that this family is turned upside down, child, she don't want no part of that. It's going to be a mess at that wedding, child. Fighting, fussing, all kinds of stuff going to be happening. And that was the end of the episode. But the update reads, no word on if the baby is his. And they haven't heard anything from him to confirm or deny. LaKeisha left him after a huge blow up and she moved with her daughter to be closer to her father and her sister. Well, girl, welcome to Texas. The relationship with her mom is much better. Okay, I'm finally pleased with an update. Okay, I'm not sure what much better means. I don't know if that means they're not cussing each other out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only Tuesday and Thursday, because that mama, I don't trust her. So unless the two of you are in therapy, I just don't trust that the relationship is getting better. To sum it all up, I feel like she needs to focus on her kids. She needs to learn who she is. She needs to grow more, and counseling is needed ASAP. And I'm praying for her children's upbringing because we tend to unknowingly pass down bad behavior. And if this is what her example was, I am sure that, subconsciously she's doing the exact same things in her parenting. So I'm just hoping and praying that she's the best mom that she can be. And LaKeisha, I wish you all the best. JaQuan, stay off those dating apps, honey, and keep your peen in your pocket. I'm not sure if you found out you were or were not the father, but if you are, I hope you've been stepping up and taking care of your responsibilities. Please comment down below and tell me exactly what you felt about this episode. Do you feel like they were ready to get married? Do you feel like they were too young? Honey, I feel like all of the above. Please don't hesitate to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.